Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on special curved graphs. A special puzzle to warm up the brain cells is on the next slide. The answer will be given at the end. Enjoy. What is the meaning of the following? Good luck with it and see how you go. The hyperbola. Some people call it hyperbola. The graph of the form xy equals a is called a hyperbola. It is contained in the first and third quadrants. As you can see, first and third quadrants. This is the graph of xy equals 4. All we do is find some points that lie on this equation that satisfy the equation, and we join them together, and that's how we find the curve. The example to the left will highlight the main components of the hyperbola. So we plot the points, we join the points. The curves are mirror images of each other. You can see that from here. They are mirror images of each other. The curves never hit the axes, so no matter how far you go in that direction or that direction, this direction or that direction, the curves will never hit the axes. And because of that, the axes are called asymptotes. It's a very special name. Whenever you see that, it means that the curves do not hit that line. The graph of the form xy equals minus a is shown to the left. That's this one here. It is contained in the second and fourth quadrant. The second and fourth quadrants. It has the same general features as xy equals a. So they're mirror images of each other, and we still have the asymptotes. Cubics. The graph below shows y equals x cubed. There are many more examples of cubic graphs. This is probably the simplest one you can get. And basically, again, you just plot a few points. You can plot more if you like, and you join the points together to give you the curve. For example, when x equals 2, y equals 8, because 2 cubed is 8. When x equals 1, y equals 1, because 1 cubed is 1, and so on. Quartics. Using function notation, the above graph shows function x equals x to the power of 4. Notice near 0, right, that's there, see that section there near 0? Between minus 1 and plus 1, the graph is very flat. The reason for this is that when you raise a fraction to a power, the answer becomes smaller. For example, 1 over 3 to the power of 4 is 1 over 81. See, that's the x value and that's the y value. See how very, very small it is compared to 1 over 3? And that's the reason the curve is very flat here. At x is greater than 1 and x is less than minus 1, the graph becomes very steep. So as you come in that direction and that direction there, see how very, very steep the graph becomes? That's because we have x to the power of 4. Even and odd functions. Function x equals x to the power of 4 is an even function because function x equals function minus x. Here is an example. We're going to use function x equals x to the power of 4 to look at this specific example. Function 3 is 81 because 3 to the power of 4 is 81. Function minus 3 is 81 because minus 3 to the power of 4 is 81. So function x equals function minus x, and that is why it is an even function. Now, function x equals x cubed is an odd function because function x equals minus function minus x. Now we're going to use this specific example here to illustrate that. Function 3 is 27. See that there? Function 3 is 27 because 3 cubed is 27. Now minus function minus 3 is minus, outside of minus 27, which is 27. See? So minus function minus 3 is 27. However, function 3 is the same as minus function minus 3. And that is why this is an odd function. Shading on the number plane. Consider the equation x plus y equals 3. This line is very easy to plot and represents all the points that lie on it. I've just found a few points here, joined them together, and that gives you the line. Very easy to see, and there's no need to explain that. That's very basic. How do we plot x plus y is less than or equal to 3? Because of the inequality, that is that less than sign there, see the less than sign? This represents a region on the number plane. So we're looking at a region, that is an area. We're not just looking at a line. The less than or equal to sign tells us that the line is whole, not dotted, because it includes all the points on it. So whenever you see an equal sign here, you have to have a full line. Now, which side of the line do we shade? Okay, well it's quite straightforward because we have to use a test point. I want to use 0, 0 as a test point because it's a very easy point to use and the line doesn't run through it. So if I use 0, 0 as a test point and put it in there, 0 plus 0 is less than or equal to 3. That is true. The test passed. Whenever the test passes, you shade the same side as the test point. That's very straightforward. Let's look at this one here, which is the blue line is the graph of y equals x squared. To find the region y is less than or equal to x squared, we use the graph to the left. So we're going to use this graph here. The less than or equal to sign tells us that the curve is whole, not dotted, because it includes all the points on it. Use 0, 2 as a test point. We can't use 0, 0 because the graph runs through it. So just pick any other point. Let's use 0, 2. Right. Now we're going to put 0, 2 in there. Now 0 is the x value, so we put it there. 0 squared is 0. So that side is 0. Put 2 there. 2 is less than or equal to 0. The test failed, so it's false. Whenever the test fails, you shade the other side of the line or the curve. You do not shade the area where you have the test point. You must shade the other side, and that's exactly what I've done. The test failed, so the region is to the side and below the curve. Note, the less than and greater than signs have dotted graphs because they do not include the points on the graph. So if ever you get an inequality with either that sign or that sign, the straight lines or the curves are dotted because you do not include the points on the curves or the lines themselves. Here's a quick quiz to help you. Please check through the video at any time. The answer to the puzzle. What is the meaning of the following? All in all. I think you can see that. That's a nice one, isn't it? Here are the answers to the quick quiz, and the video is at your disposal.